everyone, to another episode of Creative Inc. I'm your host, Karina Gantus. I hope everyone is well. Today I have the beautiful Carol Register joining me as a guest. How are you, Carol?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm happy to have you. Your name is everywhere at the moment on LinkedIn, on Facebook. You are getting around, lady.
Yes, I am really wanting to boost that visibility so that I can bring the tools I have to more people.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. So, Creative Inc. is for those that have that creative blood in them, have that drive, love making things, love creating things, making sure that even if you don't create something, but you help people that create. Um, it's all about spreading that beautiful artistic talent of yours around, letting people know who you are, what you do, what you represent. So my first question to you, dear, is what does creativity mean to you?
Mm, I love this question. So, creativity to me means having the space and ability around you to do things that spark an interest and that bring light and beauty into your life in various ways, or expression, I will say, because for everybody it may not be light and beauty, but it is a way of expressing ourselves. Of
It certainly is. I love that. The perfect
Yeah,
word there.
yeah.
So, how do you use your creativity in your life?
Well, it's super interesting because I feel like business is a wonderful vehicle for my creativity. But on the personal side and the hobby side, I love art, music, poetry, literature, very steeped in these things in my life. And, one of the things that's really coming to mind right now is healing from the neuroscience perspective occurs in the creative side of the brain. So
Mm.
it's huge for healing. Yeah.
So you're basically saying that being creative, or even if you haven't got that creative blood, doing something that brings out that creativity is actually good for your health, good for
Yeah.
your mental well-being.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very healing for the traumas we've been through. It's something, like I said, where that's really where healing starts to occur as far as the heart brain connection. And that's not my area of expertise. I have just enough knowledge to be dangerous. But the thing I love is, you know, it, it really depends on how we define creativity, because how narrowly do we define it? Do we define
Mm.
it strictly as the arts? Like I mentioned, business. Areas where, again, you can express yourself. And what that looks like for me and you may be very different, but still very powerful.
Mm. But I mean, even in business, especially when you're doing it yourself, you're a solo entrepreneur. Um, you have to know how to design. You know how
Mhm.
to do your graphics to promote your business, to promote who you are on social media. It's something even as tiny as that, but it's still design. It's still creativity, and it's
Yeah.
still part of business. What you need to do, what you have to do.
Yes, yeah. Your branding, your logo, the way you're expressing your voice and your sentiment in the world, those are wonderful points. And um, I'm a true serial entrepreneur, so I'm not a solopreneur. I do not try to be, because I don't have expertise in every area. But even if I'm communicating with a graphic artist, I'm sharing with them what my
Your
vision and my
vision.
voice is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's still your creativity coming through, even though it's
y-
somebody else's work.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
And I think, bringing up business, creativity in business, even in numbers, I'm a bit of a science geek, and I happen to enjoy number theory as well. And, just being able to see patterns in numbers, being able to see Fibonacci patterns, for example. And, so that's why I say we don't have to narrowly define creativity. It's much more broad and
It is.
expansive than we may realize.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with you on there. You just got my interest now with numbers. What is it you do with numbers? How does this work?
Well, as far as number theory and so on, I'm just like I said, I'm a bit of a geek. And again, I carry forward the mantra that I have just enough knowledge to be dangerous. But,
Dangerous. I love
um,
that.
just things that I really enjoy looking at in we use numbers all the time in business. We use numbers in investing. The Fibonacci principle is a pattern in nature that is very commonly used in investing and is worth getting to know and be aware of. The Pareto principle, which is known commonly as the 80-20 rule. These are patterns that exist in numbers in mathematics that we can use creatively. We can
Mm,
apply to the things that we are doing. So, yeah.
mm. So, what got you into that? Because I think that's like going down a minefield once you step into that. It's like, oh, yeah, there are patterns in numbers, but go down this tunnel and you'll never get back out again because there's so much to learn and so much, I suppose there's the information, everything you need to know about it is out there to find out anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the going back to the broader point, just that creativity can be expressed in various ways, rather than just strictly in painting, for example, or in music, which I happen to love music. I'm also a rhythm geek. Love especially Latin rhythm since I do live in South America as well. Um, and, again, looking at a bigger, broader picture. So I'm kind of talking to you, friend, if you're not thinking of yourself as creative or you're not tapped into your creativity, to start to discover it. And I think your point about, oh, this is a rabbit hole or a big trail we could go down. Um, it's true. It's important to keep our focus, feed our focus, and starve our distractions so that
I love it.
I heard that this morning on Instagram. Credit goes to I don't recall the person whose quote that is, but it's great, right?
Yeah, it really is.
And yeah, just leaning in there, right? So, being able to be creative within our focus is also very important to drive home creating the reality, manifesting the reality that we want to desire to create.
So, Carol, you're not I'm say one hit wonder. You don't just deal with one thing. You work in different sectors and help different ways with the business. So, can you explain what you actually do?
Yeah, I would love to. I am a neuro coach, which means that I use a neuroscience based process to help you reprogram your brain to literally change your neural networks from the limiting beliefs, which come from our childhoods, into the success beliefs that you want to have. It's really about unlocking and unleashing the power that you have within you.
We have that power.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
to do it, and I have a really clear, simple process, but I also to speak to what you were asking, I work with the principles of wealth and help you to remove and heal those limiting money stories that you have. And combining the principles, which are in some cases immutable laws like gravity or electricity, with the neuroscience process, man, it just brings huge breakthroughs. And to keep going just slightly, we are integrated beings. So when you go to work in any one area of your life, such as wealth, you're going to elevate all areas of your life, health, relationships. So
Money
speaking to
makes
that
the world
broader,
go round.
yeah, yeah, it's true. I mean, it's the longest lasting relationship we have other than ourselves. It affects our lives from the moment we're born till the
Mm.
moment we leave the planet. So
So you help businesses, entrepreneurs, people that have their own business, when they feel stuck, when they feel that they can't move forward, that something's holding them back, as you said, limiting decision. You go through maybe and find a trauma that's happened in their past. You don't go to that trauma, because I know how NLP works, because I'm a practitioner myself. But you make sure that they don't feel the same thing and they're not triggered by it anymore. You change their reality of what that trauma was, and how they felt towards it, so that when it comes to something that would normally trigger them into thinking about it again, it doesn't. And because, like you said, because that's so long ago and people don't realize that that's causing that problem now in the present,
mhm.
they don't understand that something, even if something could be something minute,
Yeah,
from in the past, is causing them to make the same mistake over and over again in their either relationship or
yeah,
business or with money. And until they find out what this is that's been holding them back and deal with it, they're going to keep on making that same mistake.
yeah, it's very true. And just to be clear, I am not familiar with NLP. I've never practiced it. What I do with the neuroscience-based process I use is go into directly snapping away those old limiting beliefs, 90% of which happened before the age of 8.
Yeah,
So they're
same.
not our fault, right?
No, exactly. And like I
And
said, people don't realize that
right.
that's what's holding them back.
Yes. And, speaking to that about the patterns that we repeat, our brains are wired for safety. They're not wired for success. They're wired to protect us. And one of the ways our beautiful brains do that is by actually protecting those patterns, because they're wired into our subconscious. The subconscious drives the ship, and we don't even realize that. So we're literally making decisions based on beliefs that we don't even have an awareness of. So I do take you through a process to uncover what those are so that you can start to change those and reprogram those, if you will. And I think that's really important, that we understand that we have the ability to train our brains just like we train our muscles, right?
Mm.
If I never ever picked up a bag of groceries or, vacuumed my floor or whatever it may be for you, exercised in some way, then my muscles are going to deteriorate. They're going to go south for the winter, and some of mine are. And so, in the same way, though, we have the capacity to look at this brain safety and make our new subconscious default zone, our new comfort zone, a success zone. And that's the part that gets me really excited. That's what I've experienced in my own life.
So, I mean, people don't realize that we live with the consciousness and the subconsciousness, and it's the subconsciousness that we can't control, because we're not open to it yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we open ourselves to it and we learn how to listen to it, and we're talking intuition now, listen to it, understand which voice is talking, because you have the inner critic, you have the inner child.
Yeah.
If we're open to it, if we truly believe that we have that power,
Yeah.
and that we can control our subconscious and not
Yes.
it control us,
Yes, and
we take that power back.
that's one of the things I love about the neuroscience process, is that there is an actual method and time period that we can use. So the process is simple, but it's also very clear. It's proven so that you have measurable, tangible results. You're not just, that's one of the things that really drives me crazy in some ways about all of the mindset work that's out there, because some of it only brings partial success or short-term symptom-based success rather than long-term ongoing success. And I'll hear it all the time, I'm sure you do too, of, "Oh, my best friend's Mary's therapist told her this, and I'm trying that now too," or, "I saw this Instagram reel and I'm gonna go for it." And they're only partial pieces of the puzzle
Exactly.
when you can have a complete process that literally will take you from
Complete breakthrough.
point A to point B, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's absolutely fascinating. The power that we have, what we can achieve, how
Yeah.
if we want something so badly that we can actually manifest it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's like, to me, that's like magic, and that's magic inside us. That we
Yes.
can do that,
Mm.
but we just have to be open to it, and we have to learn how it works. It's
Yeah.
absolutely fascinating. It was when I was training as a coach, on NLP and timeline therapy, and I went through a trauma release. It
Mm.
made me realize that I was living in a mentally abusive marriage.
Mhm.
And it was through this learning about the subconsciousness and listening to my intuition that got me out of it, got
Yeah.
me back to the UK, started my own business, started from scratch. I would still be there if it wasn't for learning about this amazing strength and power that we have, about the subconsciousness and what goes on, about the past trauma that's affecting your life and making you make the same mistake over
Yeah.
and over and over again. There is no need for it, people.
No.
We can overstep that. We can
Yeah.
get through that. This isn't about being depressed and something not going right and being depressed and then coming out of it.
Yeah.
This is about something that has been following you for so long now,
Yeah.
and you can do something about it.
Yes, I'm so with you on that. I On my own journey, it's been a journey of continued and ongoing healing. It's been that for my clients. One of my clients, she's amazingly successful from the outside, but her limiting money belief was steeped in a background of family poverty and shame and guilt around money.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things that is so wonderful when we have these breakthroughs. And like you were saying, being able to get to the source and start to,
Sucker punch.
yeah, have
When you
relief.
find it,
Yeah.
when you find that point,
Yes.
it's like being punched in your gut. I broke down in tears. I was
Yeah.
shaking. I had no idea that that was what was causing my problem at the time.
Wow.
And that release, a relief and
Yes.
release,
Yes.
undescribable.
It's so true, and I love your speaking into this in this way because, I've had a very similar personal experience. When we go to reprogram, we are going to face brain resistance because the brain's job is to protect this beautiful subconscious that we have. And if we didn't have it, we wouldn't even be able to lift our heads off the pillow. We wouldn't have the energy because we think so many thoughts per day. So when we're this is why we get uncomfortable when we go to grow or we go to do something new, and healing is growing, it's change, and the brain comes in and it provides neurochemicals to keep you back in the old pattern. And
Hmm.
so having the tools and a guide to walk you through this process, be there with you, support you in it, so that you can know that it's temporary. There are tools, specific tools that we can do, such as celebrating to continue to reward our brain, because the brain's actually wired for reward and certainty. It's really where those breakthroughs happen. They happen faster and they happen like on the long term. They're not, that big release. Um, that comes from the work you're doing, the freedom that you felt, the breakthrough that you experienced. I mean, I know that I've craved that and my clients have craved that, and it's super powerful.
It really, really is. And it changed everything. My life changed after that. So after
Wow.
that breakthrough, my life totally changed and for the better.
Yeah.
Let's let's talk about intuition at the moment because for me that's what's guiding me.
Mm,
Um, as I said before about the voices, you need to understand which one to listen to.
yeah.
But when you do recognize it as your intuition, if you do listen to what it's telling you, it will never guide you wrong.
Yeah. Yes, even though I use a neuroscience-based process, neuroscience is not just the brain or not just the thoughts, and I think that's important. It's the whole entire nervous system, and we
Mm,
have a heart brain, we have a gut brain, and we actually our subconscious is not just in our brain, it's throughout our body. It's in our spinal column as well. And so we are very integrated beings, and being able to connect with our heart and to hear is so powerful. So when you're creating your reality, yes, your thoughts plus your emotions are what form your beliefs. That's what gets wired into your subconscious. So a thought fires within microseconds before an emotion. And most people don't realize that. Um, but it's about connecting every part of you. It's about being able to listen to your heart. The vibrational energy is a huge part of science. It's a part of the quantum work. It's a part of spiritual work. And being able to vibrate at a different level through the kind of work that I do is so beautiful and powerful. So it doesn't leave those things out. And I'm really glad you brought that up. Yeah.
yeah,
Listening.
yeah, very important
Yeah.
to be in tune with it. It's about acceptance. It's about
Yeah.
being in tune. It's about being open,
Mm,
and finding someone like yourself who can guide you and teach you how to do that.
yeah.
And once you know the power that you have, once you're open to it,
Mm,
then for the rest of your life, if you follow the guide, if you follow the voices, the correct voices, you can't go wrong. You really, really can't go wrong.
yeah. And I love the way you leaned into being able to trust yourself. Be able you said, "My intuition won't guide me wrong." And that has been so powerful with me, with my vision and my journey, and with the client work that I do, is to know ourselves, know that we're valuable, that we matter, that we're here for a reason, we're
Yeah.
doing something for a reason,
Yes.
and being able to really trust ourselves is phenomenal because we're always taught to trust the external. We're taught
Yeah.
to seek everybody else's approval, and boy, will that steer you wrong, right? Over and over again, it will steer you wrong when you lean in and you learn how to trust yourself. You learn how to have that internal approval of the direction you're going, what you desire. Man, it gets so powerful. It's really where the magic and the miracles happen, isn't it?
It isn't it, isn't it?
Mm,
I just want people to understand. I'm trying to get it across passionately that this is real, people. This is real. This happens. You
yes.
can do it. This is something is stopping you. There is a way of getting through that, and I'm not talking about sitting on a couch,
Yeah.
paying hundreds or thousands of dollars, letting someone listen to you. I'm talking about really getting to the heart of the matter quickly,
Yeah.
painlessly,
Yeah.
and get back on with your life. It's
Yes.
so simple, Carol.
It really is. It's powerful. It's about unleashing our power, right? It and that's the thing that was so made me so happy and excited. Like my vision had shut down. I was stuck. I was not moving forward. And I began to I've always loved like self-improvement and self-awareness. But I was definitely a perfectionist. I was in overwhelm. I was in frustration. I was in
Mm,
fear.
yeah,
And it was blocking me. And I began to see and hear in my intuition that I was the one that was blocking myself
yeah.
and started to attract to me those voices that said, "Hey, there's an answer. There's a solution. By the way, do you know you can remove your limiting beliefs and wire in your success?" And I heard it on a podcast, and I was the first time I heard it, I was like, "You can do what? Say what? Like, count me in." And even with that, when I said, "Count me in," it took me 4 months to make the decision and cross the line to go into the work, and then from there, as I started to progress and see progression in my mentors' clients and in my colleagues, real transformation,
Yeah.
then that's when I was
It is.
bitten
It's
by the bug.
transformation. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
transformation. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
it's,
"I've
I
gotta
mean,
get this into hands of people," right?
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
I did the course for myself.
yeah,
But I am a registered coach now where I can help other people like what you do.
I love that.
However, that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I've been put here to do. Even though I now have that capability, I
Mhm.
know that I was supposed to have done that course for me.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, because that really drives home the point, and especially when we've had any kind of trauma, any kind of abuse, and or personality type where you're a supporting type personality, you may not realize that it's really about putting your oxygen mask on first. It
Mm,
absolutely is. It's about filling up your own cup, because if you don't do that, how can
help
you
others.
be on your journey and on your mission and be giving and serving to others if you're pouring from an empty place? It doesn't work, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Um, we've just got enough time, Carol. Tell me about your podcast.
okay, well, right now, actually, I'm going to dive into the fact that I have a private podcast called Principles of Wealth with Carol Register. And it's a 3-month, 10-minute per day daily coaching with me. So
Oh, wow.
it is so you can start to understand what these principles are. Some of them have been in existence for millennia, and just start to uncover what will help you to think differently about wealth and about how to create it and produce it in your life. So that I'm very excited about. And then I think you're referring also to my partner, Alex Leanne, and I have the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast. And
Unleashed and Unstoppable.
yeah, we talk about all these things. We talk about neuroscience, leadership, and wealth. So thank you for asking me about that.
That's great. So where can people get in touch with you about what we've been talking about, those that really need that help now to get over a limiting decision to move forward in their business or a relationship? It's not just about business. This is about life. It's about family. It's about love. It's whatever is stopping you and holding you back. Where can people find you to speak with you about this, a course or a one-on-one?
One-on-one. My website is in progress right now. We're redoing it. The easiest way is on Instagram because I have all the links in my bio. If you want to jump in and get my free gift, if you want to join the podcast, and both podcasts are there. Just look me up under Carol Register. My handle is at NeuroCoach Carol. So just like the word neuroscience, it's NEURO Coach Carol. But you can look me up under Carol Register and I should come up.
Well, when you have spare time, Carol, I think it's about time you wrote a book because people need to know what is available to them. They need to know about this power that we have. And yes, there are many books out there that deal with this, whether it's the neuroscience or the NLP. However, coming from yourself, you'll tell it differently to how all the other books are. And I think that's, and it'd be a great marketing tool for you as well. So I think that's something you should think about for the future.
Okay. Yeah. Several people have mentioned this to me. So it's definitely something that is on my mind for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's been wonderful chatting with you. I love talking about this topic because I have so much passion for it myself. I love what you do. I think you're amazing. And I think that's why your name is getting everywhere because people are using and utilizing your skills. They're suddenly realizing what they're capable of. And that's opening the doors for them. And it's like magic. It really is. And you're the fairy godmother of it. So
thank you. I take that. I receive that.
So I wish you all the best in your business with the podcast. It's wonderful having you as a guest. And thank you so much for being on Creative Inc.
Yes, and your episode with the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast is coming out. So please dive in and follow us so you can hear Karina. I'm excited about that.
I can't even remember what we talked about. Yeah, I'm excited to see it myself. Thank you, Carol.
Bye.